Hi everyone and welcome to Townsville. It is round 3 of the Dunlop series for V8 Supercars today. 31 cars have entered. It's the best field we've ever had here on the streets of Townsville in DVS. This man, Casey Stoner, the former MotoGP World Champion, he's had to wait 9 weeks since the last round at Barbagallo in Perth. He and the whole field will have to deal with something new this weekend too. The Dunlop soft tyre makes its debut in the development series. It will be solely used in race 3. Now 12 months ago, Ash Walsh threw away a podium result here in Townsville. It's amazing what changes in a year. He's won his first race, his first round, and he's signed up for the Endurance Cup. He's set for a big weekend as we get things underway here in Townsville.
Series leader Ash Walsh admits it's a start to his Dunlop campaign, which included a maiden round win at the last event in Perth. He's now focused on erasing memories from Townsville last year.
We were in a podium position. I had Chaz Mostert on the rear of the car, and I was pushing hard to try and stay in front of him, and started to get a little bit, get a bit loose. Tyres going away, and unfortunately I locked the brakes going into the second last corner and ran wide, clipped the wall, and smashed the rear windscreen. So not ideal, but it's all right. That's what last year was for. It was about preparing for having a good crack at the title this year.
Hot on his heels in the championship hunt is fellow Dick Johnson Racing endurance driver and proud new dad, Dale Wood. Although he scored the second race win of his career in Perth, he knows he has to find some extra aggression if he is to remain a serious contender for the title.
It's the opening couple of laps of the race. I need to be more aggressive. Probably something I used to do in the earlier days of me driving these cars, and it was to my detriment sometimes. So I've toned that back, but maybe a little bit too much, and I really need to bring that back now. And I think I need to do a better job in qualifying. So I think I've qualified third for the first 2 rounds, and I need to be on that front row. I mean, I want pole position, but I need to be on the front row, and I need that little bit more aggression. I think we'll have more race wins.
The Dunlop series so far has been a Ford domination, but Jack Perkins managed to secure Holden's first win in the reverse grid race in Perth. The 26-year-old is enjoying being back and rates it as the most competitive series in its history.
I feel like a veteran in this field now. There's a lot of good cars, obviously with the main game going to Car of the Future this year. Some awesome cars, some really good young drivers, and some other older guys as well that are in the mix. And it's so competitive. You've got to be on top of your game. It's at the same level as the main series. All the team needs to be professional and full-time, and it's stepped right up. It's at a similar level to the nationwide series in NASCAR, and that's where, it's great for our sport to have a really good feeder series.
Also enjoying success at his last outing is former V8 Supercar main series driver Taz Douglas. He finished 3rd for the round in Perth and is now 4th in the championship and must be considered a threat.
Our first round wasn't that good, but we had a few dramas with the car, and it's a new car for me this year, so I just feel every time I drive it, I'm getting better, and I know what the car wants, and we're getting a little bit closer to what I want as well, and we're kind of coming together. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Townsville, and hopefully we can get a win.
Steve Owen stepped back into the series for the first time in Perth and instantly made an impact. But slow starts proved costly as he found himself panel to panel with Casey Stoner.
Yeah, I hadn't sat in the car before the race weekend. We managed to get pole, which was a bit of a surprise, but didn't make the best start. Ended up coming together at turn 1 and broke the steering. So it's a different clutch than what I've been running for the last 3 or 4 years, so it just requires a slightly different technique to get it off the line. And these are all the things that you sometimes don't realise until hindsight. So we practiced, and I think we made a couple of good starts in, so I think we'll be right.
Further down the field, it's a battle between the Russell brothers, Aaron and Drew, to remain in top 10 contention. Aaron Russell says it's only a matter of time before they sneak onto the podium.
If I can't do well, you want your brother to do well. So whenever one of us gets inside the top 5 or has a good result, it's a good feeling within the team. We're not just 2 separate cars and 2 separate teams within us. We're all one big family, and like I said, we eat, sleep and breathe motorsport to come here and win and get a podium and just do the best we can.
The Dunlop Series point score coming into Townsville, and there's the Russell brothers, 9th and 10th at the moment, doing a good job. Andrew Jones in 8th, he's a former series champ. Cam Waters of Shannon Showdown fame, and at the top there's that battle, Ash Walsh and Dale Wood, just 18 points separating them coming into this, the 3rd round. Time to check out the Armour All pole position winner, and this guy's still got it. He's still very fast. Steve Owen will be driving
with the Ford Performance Racing team come Bathurst, and $1,000 thanks to Armorall, will be starting off the front row. Well, it's a big field of experienced stars and young guns. A perfect mix here in Townsville, and we go racing with the Dunlop Series up next.
Race 2, Murph, 14 laps, and we've reversed the top 10 finishers from race 1. So, fantastic story here. Ash Walsh was the points leader coming into the weekend. He failed to complete a lap in qualifying, started at the rear in race 1, charged through, got to 10th, and through the inversion starts from pole for this half-points race.
Sometimes it just works out, Noons. Yeah, it's a fantastic field here of Dunlop Series cars. Probably the most competitive we've seen, I would say, and certainly the most competitive we've seen at Townsville. As we can see, Ash Walsh is joined by Paul Morris on the front row of the grid.
And race 1 winner Steve Owen goes back to position 10. Dale Wood starts alongside him, the Matthew White team cars alongside. Wood is now the series leader, 30 points clear of Ashley Walsh after yesterday's race, going right back through the order. Andre Heimgartner was in drama with Taz Douglas, who got a post-race 25-second penalty, so he's been moved back. Gary Jacobson, another driver, penalised. He had some contact yesterday with Aaron Tebb, and Tebb is down the back because he had a steering drama that forced him to crash out of yesterday's race. So 31 cars here this weekend. It's the best field that we've ever seen here in Townsville for the DVS. Walsh and Morris front row. George Medicki and Drew Russell on row 2. Then Andrew Jones and Christian Lindbaum. Wait for the start. 14 laps ahead. Race 2 of 3 for the weekend. Lights go out. We get racing. Walsh is slow.
He's had it.
Look at Dale Wood. Dale Wood on the grass down the inside.
And Steve Owen going past Walsh as well. Walsh had a problem there. Just before the lights went out, the car moved. So something happened in his plan there. Pre-start plan, something went wrong, and when the lights went out, look at him, he's back in about 14th spot. Jeff Emery going up the inside.
Oh, it's just nose to tail. It's always tight down at turn 2. Drivers up the inside of the curb and using that extra bit of bitumen that's on the inside. We're on board there with Rodney Jane, but Paul Morris, the dude, leads the way.
What a start. That was just, couldn't have been worse for Ash Walsh. Yeah, Paul Morris leading, the rest of them flowing through here. There he is. Steve Owen is ahead of him.
Exactly, and that's a big point. Remember, Steve Owen started 10th on the grid, half a lap in, and Walsh is behind him already.
He hasn't made too much more of a march forward, Steve Owen. His start wasn't that awesome. Got past Ash Walsh, but he hasn't made too much more progress as yet.
Oh, look at this. Back on board with Taz Douglas. Josh Hunter. That was Heimgartner lunging, but there was the other Finance Easy car was going slowly with Josh Hunter at the wheel. Casey Stoner's diving in. Oh, drama. There's drama here.
That's Waters, is it?
Oh, round goes Michael Hector. Heimgartner got in the back of him. Gulf Western Oil Ford. That's the ex-Scott McLaughlin car that won the DVS Series last year. But there's the lead. Morris, Medicki, Drew Russell, Andrew Jones, Dale Wood. He's been a mover. 9th to 5th in one lap. Lindbaum, Gaunt, Aaron Russell, Chris Pither. Owen's 10th is now. Russell lunging Dan Gaunt. Owen lunging Chris Pither.
Yeah, Owen's start, a little bit surprising, to be honest. He's only managed to make one spot now into the start of lap 2. So his start wasn't superb, probably not as good as he thought. And as we talked about before, this is going to be a challenge for him to make too much more progress. And remember, the grid for race 3 is a combination of the points from these first 2 races.
There's Josh Hunter. That was the car that was slowing on the inside when we're on board with Taz Douglas. That is the ex-James Moffat car from last year from Dick Johnson Racing. That's the car that was true blue at Bathurst last year with James and Alex Davison at the helm, but it's been a hectic opening lap in this second race of the weekend. There's Ash Walsh, series leader coming into the weekend. He's 11th in this race at the moment, and remember, it's a half-points race. There's only 60 for the win, so he's on the fight-back trail down the inside. Chris Pither is the first target, but the Kiwi's back down the inside and will get the spot back and the overlap and hang on.
Jack Perkins there also making some moves. He had a situation yesterday that Cam Waters made a mistake, came down the inside of him into turn 1 and turned Jack Perkins around while he was running in the top 3, so not a good one there. He's making his way through from way back on the grid also. Dan Gaunt now under pressure from Steve Owen. Ash Walsh trying to make some headway.
Oh, Drew Russell slowing there.
He's got a problem with the left front, right front there, I think, by the looks of it. Some damage.
Straight down the escape road at turn 2. That's a shame for the Newcastle driver. That's the ex-Stevie Johnson, Jim
Here's the
Beanport.
start. Now watch Ash Walsh's car. See it move there.
Stops.
So something's happened then. He's clutched by the looks of it. He has not got away at all. So something went wrong there in his pre-start sort of planning. either with the line lock, something with the clutch, but that was a shocker for him.
It looked like, though, he stopped behind the line. If he was over the line, he would have been penalised. This is on board with Rodney Jane. Trying to get a gear. Pull. Now he gets it going.
A massive amount of wheel spin there by Rodney Jane. Unable to get away, grabbing the gear lever.
Oh, it was tight there, 3 wide into turn 1. Jeff Emery up in front in the ex-Craig Lowndes car.
And what does he do? No.
Stays there.
Stays there. No crashing and bashing this time. Jeff Emery 12 months ago had a shocker down at turn 1 and got a lot of damage to his car. Casey Stoner moving forward. Andre Heimgartner behind him. So Casey started a fair way back.
He's passing cars.
He's made a few spots here, big time. He's up to 18th.
Well, he's up to 17th now because he's down the inside on Brett Stewart, the Western Australian, in the Interquip car, one of the ex-Paul Morris motorsport cars. I wouldn't go there.
And here's the two protagonists from yesterday, Heimgartner and Taz Douglas, who had issues yesterday. Taz Douglas got a penalty for knocking Heimgartner off. They are nose to tail again.
Down to turn 2.
Taz down the inside.
Brett Stewart's going to have a lunge at Casey Stoner.
Oh, no.
That really was in there. Heimgartner gives Stoner one in the door as well. And I bet you Brett Stewart never thought there'd be a day where he'd pass Casey Stoner for a position on a racetrack.
I think you can guarantee that one. So Stoner having a pretty racy look here in race 2, which is great to see. He has not had anything go his way at all in the first few rounds of this championship. And yesterday again with a puncture, starting from the back. I hope he's enjoying actually doing a bit of good close quarters racing. He's going to have another look at Stewart, who Stewart blocks him. He sees him. Casey's up.
He's missed the bumper.
Oh!
Well, he's out wide there and will rub the tyre wall.
Maybe there could be a bit of an issue with that one. But anyway, Casey Stoner watching the Red Bull racer. Heimgartner behind. This is going to continue on, this battle, I can guarantee that. In car now, it's Taz Douglas. Have a look at what happened back at turn 8 on the last lap with Casey Stoner. Yeah, these guys benefited from that little bit of touch-up. A replay now. So Stone a little bit late on the brakes, gets into the back of Stewart's car.
Barely.
That was lucky.
Stewart played it defensive, though, and had to go in deep because he was narrow anyway, so he was going to struggle to make it around the corner. And really, Casey didn't have to really touch him very hard at all for him to run off there. So Morris out front, margin 1.2 seconds. Don't go anywhere. More from Townsville after the break. This is round 3 of the Dunlop series from the streets of Townsville. At the front, this is pretty much settled down. There's Andrew Jones, Dale Wood closing in.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, actually. There's not a little bit more action here. These guys, not, as I said, not having to look after these tyres. They go to the soft tyre for the third race. A green set of soft tyres for everybody. They haven't had them on the cars so far this weekend. I expected maybe Dale Wood to be pushing and maybe moving forward a little bit more. Jeff Emery right behind Jack Perkins, the ex-888 Lowndes car, the Dayglow orange. We saw a lot of that last year at Sydney in the Vodafone colours, the end of the Vodafone era. Jeff Emery, these guys battling it out.
And Jack Perkins actually qualified on the front row of the grid, but yesterday got hit into a spin down at turn 2 and is really on the fight-back trail. He's trying to get 10th place from Chris Pither, who spent some time in David Wall's Wilson security car in the Friday practice session in the V8 Supercars Championship.
The times up the front, very competitive. Everyone's doing a very similar time, all in the 15s. No one really making a lot of headway there. Jack Perkins still trying to get past Chris Pither.
And you just touched on it before, the histories of these cars, of course, with Car of the Future now in the main series. There's good gear here. I mean, Chris Pither, he's in the ex-Fabian Coulthard Lockwood car. Jack Perkins is in Jonathan Webb's old Techno car. Emery behind, that's the ex-Craig Lowndes Vodafone car. So the level of equipment that has come into the Dunlop series this year is really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, the Dunlop series has that, obviously, that access to these amazing cars, and there's some great drivers in there utilising them to their absolute best performance potential.
Oh, Perkins made the big lunge. Pither tried to get the cross back. And it still goes on. More contact between.
And Jack has to go a little bit defensive into the last corner. Pither's not giving up. Another little touch just to remind him he's there. Jeff Emery may get away with that little touch-up and benefit from it. He's on the outside now, down the front straight. We'll see who's got the horsepower. A little bit of damage to Pitter's car, I think, on the right front there to his splitter.
You're just in the Red Bull Racing Australia garage. Craig Lown, you've got a smile from ear to ear. Casey Stoner started 29th, up to 17th. What are you thinking about this race?
Oh, look, it's been pretty entertaining to watch. It's good for him. He was disappointed yesterday. He knew he had a good, strong car, but of course, that's motor racing, and of course, he's having a great battle back through the field now, so it's good to see.
And a big moment there with Brett Stewart. What did you think on that one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's obviously a bit of rubbing going on. It's it's one of those things that's sort of in the moment. So I'm sure the stewards will have a look at it. But hopefully, at the moment, he stays out of trouble and keeps going up the ladder.
Good luck with this afternoon. Let me enjoy this one.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Rihanna. We'll see how Craig Lowndes can perform this afternoon. Casey Stoner continues his march forward. He's by Marcus Zukanovic. He's up to 16th from 29th on the grid, so he's pretty much got through half the order.
This should be great for his confidence. I mean, this is a good drive so far. Not too many issues to be had, and he needs to have that long, strong race where he can get to the finish and get some confidence by passing some of these guys and get a good result. So back to the front. Paul Morris still leading pretty comfortably over George Madecki. No one's really changed too much here at the front. Steve Owen, we talked about at the start, is still struggling to make any more inroads.
But he's in 6th, and at the moment on combined points from races 1 and 2, he'd have enough for pole for race 3. The problem is his teammate Dale Wood, who's 2 cars forward on the road. If Wood can get Andrew Jones here, he'll get pole for race 3. So it's a case of one spot could have pretty big consequences for the final race.
Well, I'm sure that the team are on the radio sort of giving Dale that little bit of information. Ash Walsh, Aaron Russell giving him some serious hurry up, all right. That's pretty impressive. Ash Walsh not moving forward as well, not as far as we hoped after that shocking start. Russell looking pretty racy, though.
And he finished 4th, personal best race result in race 1. And they had a little bit of a drama there. Lost one of their data engineers for this weekend, and they had a bit of a drama trying to change all the flight tickets to be able to get a replacement here this weekend without having to spend massive dollars, but they managed to get it done.
And everyone is on a budget in this this series.
Welcome back to the Dunlop Series. There's been plenty happening on track so far this race. Little update too, Murph, from race control. There'll be no further action taken over the incident right here at this part of the track between Casey Stoner and Brett Stewart. So that has been deemed okay, play on, and that's what they're doing.
Oh, some good news for Casey.
We're on board with the 999 Ford. Gary Jacobson down the inside, Formula Ford graduate who is in his debut year now. Wood making the move on Andrew Jones in the
this is
ALB
going to change things potentially, Aaron.
That gives him a couple more points, but Jones is not done with. Jones is not done with. Back down the inside, the old over and under move for turn 3.
He's
behind, Christian Lindbaum now is under fire from Steve Owen, so this has got importance. Ash Walsh is not far away. Aaron Russell's not far away. Now it's starting to get good.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew Jones is just now starting to find that his car's using that Dunlop tyre up just a little bit more as Wood looks down the inside again. Andrew Jones has gone pretty deep there. We'll see what happens, but he looks like he's under a lot of pressure now.
McLaughlin, this race is getting pretty exciting now. Jack Perkins, your Enduro co-driver, started 18th, now up to 10th place.
He's going great guns, you know, and if he keeps that form up, he might be the main driver for the Bathurst, so I've got to watch out. But he's doing an awesome job. He's looking after the tyres really good, so see how he goes at the end of the race.
It was the first time this weekend that we saw the Enduro drivers on board the main game V8 Supercars. Did a stellar job in practice 0.
Yeah, he did, and it's all about getting time in the car and stuff like that. And it's good for Jack just to keep going. He hasn't had much racing since Bathurst, so it's good to have him out there.
Obviously, this afternoon's race 3, the first time the Dunlop Series is on the soft tyre. I'm sure Jack's got plenty of experience with that one. How do you think he's going to go?
Yeah, I'm sure him and Steve O and a few other guys are going to be pretty good on those. So, yeah, see how they go. It's all about looking after the tyre, and I wasn't too good at that yesterday, so I've got to try and learn some more. So maybe I need to come back here for a little bit.
Reigning champ last year in the Dunlop Series, and he won this round here in Townsville, which was part of a couple of rounds that he won on his way to that title. And, of course, he stepped it up this year with Fujitsu Racing GRM. But this is good. We're on that 12 or 14 closing stages of this second race, and Andrew Jones is the cork in the bottle here because they're all lining up. Wood, Lindbaum and Steve Owen, these 3X FPR Falcons
Andrew's
lining up.
He's using plenty of the road there. Plenty of the road at turn 5. Throwing up a fair bit of debris. Dale Wood taking all of that into the windscreen of his Falcon. It was a security Falcon. GB galvanising.
So as they run at the moment, Murph, Owen would have pole. Dale Wood would be second on the grid for the final race, and a quick scan would put Daniel Gaunt third on the grid from Jones and Aaron Russell, which would be a great result.
Well, they are running out of time. A little bit surprised that Dale hasn't been able to get another move on Andrew Jones, but Andrew is driving good, very defensively, not making that Commodore too wide. These guys nose to tail and keeping it pretty clean so far, and the laps are running out, so not much more time for anyone to be able to make a move here. But Paul Morris, he hasn't been headed right from the start and has looked to do it pretty comfortably from George Medicki. A great drive by George to sit there and not fall back into the traps here.
Well, remember that he qualified way back on the grid. He was 14th.
Yeah.
He did chip his way through to 8th in race 1, and the reverse grid has helped him out and put him in a good grid position for this 14-lapper. And the tyre allocation this weekend that we've touched on is different. They've got softs for the last race, one set of new hards and one set of pre-mark hards, as we see Casey Stoner running a little bit wide. He's 15th on the road at the moment. Owen's had a look a couple of times at Lindbaum, but he's not close enough to get the move done. So
Jones just locks the wheel a little bit very late in the stop there, but it doesn't upset him too much on the exit. Dale Wood unable to capitalise on any of that, and he'll be looking at his points obviously too. Not now, risking doing a move that's going to put him a long way back. He's going to start at the front of the grid for the last race on these soft tyres, next to Steve Owen by the looks of it. Half a lap to go. Still anything can happen. Owen just jinking a little bit there to try and put Christian Lindbaum off, who doesn't react to it, albeit he runs a bit wide there off the last third of turn 8.
Owen's down the inside.
Owen is up the inside, side by side through here.
He'll get him here. Lindbaum cannot fight this one. He's on the wrong side. He's done a good job.
It's not over till it's over. So Steve Owen makes one more move with a few corners left. Lindbaum will be upset about that, but Paul Morris, through the last corner, wins another Development Series race.
It's been 3 years, Murph, since he won at Queensland Raceway, but the dude's won. Lindbaum's wide. Aaron Russell will drag race him to the line, but Morris is the winner. 9/10 clear of George Medicki. Andrew Jones third from Dale Wood, and Steve Owen gets to 5th from 10th. He will start for pole in race number 3, and Casey Stoner's not done with him. He might get another one. He will. He gets Rodney Jane. That's 14th from 29th on the grid, so 15 position improvement from the Red Bull Pertec Commodore, and that's all good experience, passing cars, racing these guys that he generally hasn't raced against before. It is all part of the learning process. Morris, the winner of race 2 from George Medicki, and Andrew Jones from Wood, Owen, Lindbaum, Aaron Russell 7th, Ash Walsh 8th, Daniel Gaunt 9th, Jack Perkins 10th. Let's head down the lane. Rihanna is with our race 2 winner.
Congratulations, Paul Morris. You look a bit hot and sweaty there.
Mate, I'm an old man. I'm 46 this year, so I'm just happy to be out there and to get a win. Man, it's pretty good. We've been struggling with the car, and then I said to the boys, let's just set it on kill, and if we blow the rear tyres off it, we do. But, mate, the thing was hooked up.
Now we're coming up to the pointy end of the championship season. Enduro's coming up. Obviously, you're joining up with Scott Pye. This puts you in good stead.
It does. It took, as you get older, it takes a while to shake the rust off. And yesterday and the day before, I was like, should I be really out here? But this morning it just clicked, and I felt like I was 30 again. So, yeah, elbows up at the Enduros. Watch out.
You said it. You take a seat there. You look like you're about to pass out.
The weather is hot, and so is the action. We'll be back with more from Townsville shortly.